I've never done a movie before. This is the first time I've ever made something like this. Coming into the project, hindi ko inisip in my head na hindi siya matatapos.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Basa in Manila. A Filipino filmmaker has begun etching his name on the international scene. Enrique Baniqued produced a film that premiered this month at the 49th Toronto International Film Festival in Canada. And that masterpiece earned him a nomination from the Canadian Media Producers Association. Let's follow up on that achievement with the producer himself, Enrique Baniqued, joining us from Toronto. Miggy, it's great to see you again after, goodness, 14 years. Oh my goodness. So marami tayong mapag-uusapan. But first, please tell us, what is your film, Village Keeper, all about?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brian. Yes, it's been 14 years. It's been a long time. But yeah, basically, Village Keeper is about a mom that goes through a journey of finding herself again after a wave of gun violence affects her neighborhood. And we explore themes of domestic violence, mental health, and also generational trauma. And we feel like it's a film that hasn't been explored this way because a lot of films showcase these themes, but they never talk about what actually happens. And a big part of the movies, the family talks about secrets and what secrets do, and how keeping secrets within your family can affect not only the first. We show it through three different generations. We have a grandmother, a mother, and we have kids. And then that's a big part of the theme of the film, and that's what the director Kieran Chapman wanted to really explore in this movie.
Would you say that this is something that people from around the world, including Filipinos, is it something that they can relate to?
I would say yes, because I think that's something. It's something that, especially talking about the themes of secrets. I think it's one thing about culture in the Philippines where it's hindi usually natin pinapag-usapan yung. Usually we like to keep to ourselves and not really talk about things, and I think that's one big theme in the film is ano mangyayari if you actually talk about these themes, these experiences with your family.
Did this film somehow make an impact on you as a Filipino and as a filmmaker?
Absolutely, because I think when I grew up in the Philippines, the movies I would watch were these big action movies, these blockbusters, and rarely do these themes get touched. And I think this film opened up a different side of filmmaking to me, where it's more when it comes becomes more personal. And I think that's kind of what I would want to mix within my future projects is to have that entertainment value, but also have a message that can affect people in a good way.
When I saw the title, Village Keeper, when you told me about it, the first thing that came to my mind was that proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. How does your film show that? I mean, especially now, when the younger generation, yung mga kabataan ngayon, they're more tech savvy. So effectively, that makes them more outspoken and more involved with the things that are happening around them.
Absolutely. We definitely see that within the movie. The youngest person that's explored through the movie, his name is Tristan. He's a 12-year-old kid. But at the same time, there's a village within the family. There's also a village within the community. So we explore this to our main character where she becomes a village keeper basically through her community and through her family just by experiencing the setbacks throughout the movie.
Okay. I also like to take a look or parang a glimpse into the process of producing the film. Please tell us more about this, getting from pre-prod to post-prod and the premiere.
Absolutely. So Village Keeper is fully funded through the Canadian government. It's a micro budget program called Telefilm's Town to Watch program, CMF's pilot racialized pilot program, and also the Canadian Council for Arts. And it's something in Canada that people just apply to, but it's not very easy to get these to get approved for these things. Because at the same day, there's still a criteria, there's still a jury.
Mhm.
But again, just knowing Karen's past work and the successful film she's made, she's been able to access these grants. But if you talk to her, she'll say it took her 15 years to get to this point. She's been trying to make Village Keeper for 9 years, and it wasn't until I we met each other back in 2020 that or 2021 that she found the producing partner to make it. It wasn't easy. The biggest challenges about this film was just the limited budget that we had, and also we shot this movie in 12 days. And another big part of that was hard for resource wise is time because Karen was actually 8 months pregnant when we filmed this. So we couldn't extend anywhere after that if we wanted to. So those were the big challenges of producing this film outside of like the normal production problems. But like, we're happy that we're on this side now.
Grabe. Oh my goodness. Limited budget. And then your director and your co-producer is pregnant. Ay, Diyos mio. What made you overcome it?
Yeah, I think coming into the project, hindi ko inisip in my head na hindi siya matatapos. I think a big part of me just thinking about because I've never done a movie before. This is the first time I've ever made something like this. I've worked in the film industry for 2 years, but I've never produced anything outside of this. But a big part of me is just my work ethic. I think that was the biggest part. Is like at the end of the day, I had a feeling that it was gonna get done because of the dedication me and the people that I surrounded myself with. And I had a good team of people, and a lot of there's a bunch of people in my team actually who were immigrants, and I think immigrants are very hungry people when they immigrate, and I think it was a big part of having a good team that was able to get us to the finish line.
That's amazing. And by the way, that work ethic, you mentioned you have worked with the FIFA World Cup. You have worked with the Michelin Guide. Even you even worked with a television show, Family Feud Canada. So very extensive, very diverse ang iyong background sa media production. And now you have also ventured into film. And this film, itong first production mo, earned you a nod from Canadian Media Producers Association. And by the way, you said that you are the only Asian.
Yeah.
Oo, grabe. Only Filipino and only Asian. What
Yeah.
does that mean for you? How big of a deal is this nomination?
Yeah, just going about the things you listed. Yeah, those are a few different things that I've been fortunate to experience through my different through my short time in Toronto. I think a big part of it's just me being someone who reaches out to people, just asking people that if they have opportunities for me. But go fast forward to the nomination. I think the biggest part for me is like that because that came as a surprise. I didn't think we were gonna get that just because the people who usually get nominated for that are people who have been in the industry for a long time and have been doing it for a while. But to me, it just showcases the quality me and Kieran wanted to make this film in. And also the dedication again we made. Like we were a very small team compared to those other projects, and yeah, it's very satisfying to have that just because of the other nominees that were there, and to have it for our first project, it's pretty massive, and we're excited, and it really opens up the doors for the next projects that we want to make, and there's a lot of them there.
Oh wow. So okay, I'll get to the future projects in a while. But before that, of course, your nomination being, it's special in its own way. What does that say about two things? First, your representation in film or in media in general, and second, what does that say about uh you know young people who venture into filmmaking?
I think for Canada, there definitely is like, this movement of trying to make more projects that have diverse cultures in them. I think it's definitely not there yet. I think there's absolutely way more stories to tell. And definitely with the age of streaming, there's more opportunity for it because I know people are hungry for different things now and don't just stick to one specific thing anymore. I know I grew up thinking one thinking Hollywood was the only way to watch movies, and I think there's absolutely more than just that now. But yeah, there's definitely more stories that need to be told, and I'm excited to be in this part of it now. Just talking about the youth, yeah, I think I might be the youngest person who's been nominated for the award as well. So I don't think there's anything special about me. I'm just someone who I think one thing I believe is like I work very hard. So I don't think age is a factor when it comes to those things. But at the same time, again, surrounding myself with good people, I think it's also just not a nomination for myself, but the whole team that made this movie.
Yan. So, what's next after this? I mean, is are we going to see Village Keeper on our favorite streaming sites? Are you already working on your next film?
There's a few things that are next. First for Village Keeper. Village Keeper is going to be continuing to do a festival run. TIFF is our world premiere, but we've been accepted to a few other Canadian festivals. We're going to be playing in Vancouver and Edmonton the week after, and then we're also waiting to hear back from a couple more. And we're also waiting to hear back for an international premiere in the US. So we'll wait on then. And I do want to premiere Village Keeper in the Philippines because I haven't been home for 4 years, and I think that's a perfect reason for me to go home is to play the film there and see my friends and catch up and have a party. Um, but for my other projects, Karen and I, because one thing I would love to share is Karen and I did TIFF's Every Story Accelerator program last year and also this year. And a big part of that is that TIFF actually flew us down to the US to meet with different studios from A24 to Netflix to Amazon to Universal, Paramount, and all those different types of studios. So that set up another door for us to have people to approach with our future projects. So that's kind of what we're at is we're working with different writers, we're looking for the next scripts, knowing now what types of projects these studios look out for, because I think that's the next interesting thing for me is trying to make something that's meant to be commercial and also um seen by a bigger audience. So there's that, and also we're for Village Keeper. Just going back to Village Keeper, we're speaking to different distributors to have it distributed worldwide. So we'll see how that goes, and yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Talagang going global na ang ating
Yeah.
trajectory essentially, no? And that sounds big, really. For a new immigrant, I don't know if you consider yourself a new immigrant.
It still
Oo.
feels new. I honestly don't feel like I'm Canadian yet. There's still so much I need to know. And there's still so much to explore, and yeah, there's still so much to learn. I think that's the biggest thing about being an immigrant is like there's so many different things that it just takes time to learn.
Oh, yes, indeed. So of course, there might be young Filipino filmmakers who might be watching you. Do you have any message for them, to them? Of course, these people might want to follow in your footsteps and also create something that they can be proud of.
Absolutely. I think it's at the end of the day, like a good story will find its audience. I think one of the biggest advantages now for the younger generation is social media. There's a lot of people that are on social media and actually prefer social media to see content now. Streamers are always going to be out there, so that's I think that part of the film industry is just going to keep growing. So yeah, it's like definitely make your stuff, put it out there and show it to people.
Just take the plunge,
Absolutely.
essentially. Miggy,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your story with us. Greater things are in store for you. But for now, congratulations. Mabuhay ka.
Thank you, Ryan. So nice to see you.
Enrique Miguel Banica joining us from Toronto. And thank you for joining in on our conversation. I'm Brian Basa. Till the next follow up, take care. Bye for now.